This is really breaking news because Jeffrey Epstein may very well be alive, based on evidence that was found in the latest drop of Epstein Files, about 2 million pages released at the end of January 2026, just a few days ago. And this puts all of the speculation that's been surrounding whether Epstein was murdered or whether he committed suicide on its head. Turns it all upside down. Now, this official narrative was already questionable based on the autopsy report and what we know about the cell and the video material and all this. So that nobody believed. The murder narrative, to me, had a big problem. And this is the following. If Epstein was running a blackmail operation, or he was the point man in such a large-scale blackmail operation, involving some of the most influential, richest, most powerful people in the world, then how could he possibly be murdered? Because there would be security measures. He would not risk getting taken out, and this operation would not last if he wasn't 100% protected and untouchable. And you've heard of a dead man switch, where if something happens to me, this information is going to get released. And so these people would be more nervous about anything happening to Epstein and rather protect him than kill him. And the last thing they would want is for him to be cross-examined in a court of law. So there are serious problems with a murder narrative. On top of that, if you have all this evidence that you've collected against these people, then you're not going to keep the evidence in your basement or on your boat or in your plane or on your island. There's no way. You're not going to keep it in your video rack there in the living room. And it's not going to be there because the types of people that we believe are involved, some of them own armies. Some of them can buy armies. And while you're away on your trip partying somewhere in the world, on your private jet, they could send an army to ransack your place and find that evidence. So the evidence is not going to be located where he is known to be. I mean, it's going to be buried. Only Epstein will know where it is. And it's going to be in a place far away, offshore, where nobody can find it. It's probably sitting on a server somewhere in the world, the Philippines or someplace. And this also would explain why neither the FBI nor the Justice Department could find any incriminating evidence against anybody else inside the Epstein documents. It's simply not there because it won't be available. It'll be hidden. It will be buried. It'll be so far away, nobody will know where it is. He couldn't risk just letting it lie around somewhere where the FBI or somebody could get to it. No. So there's no evidence that anybody can find. Only Epstein knew where it is. And nobody would want to murder this guy. In fact, the most powerful, richest people would be protecting him. So what these documents reveal is that Epstein may have been rescued out of that prison and swapped with another person, or maybe just a dead body that replaced him. Now, let me show you the documents. Epstein died on the 10th of August, early in the morning, after midnight, or before midnight on August 9th, 2019. Okay? And his body was discovered at 6:30 a.m. on August 10th. Now remember this time, 6:30 a.m. And a few hours later, this message appeared on 4chan. And it simply said this, a very short message, but listen to this. So this is a few hours after Epstein's body was found. And he writes, "Not saying anything after this. Please do not try to dox me. But last night after 04:15 count, they took him medical in a wheelchair front cuffed, but not one triage nurse says that they spoke to him. Next thing we know, a trip van shows up. We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, he's put in a single-man cell and hangs himself. Here's the thing. The trip van did not sign in, and we did not record the plate number. And a guy in a green dress military outfit was in the back of the van, according to the tower guy who led him through the gate. You guys, I am shaking right now, but I think they switched him out." Okay? So this message appears to have been from somebody working in a prison where Epstein was held, who noticed these strange things happening with Epstein. At 04:15. Now, what is 04:15? Is this 4:15 p.m. the 9th, or is it 4:15 a.m. the 10th? Well, he says last night after 4:15. So this is a guy coming off of the night shift. He calls it last night. I also believe that military people, in law enforcement and so, use military time language. So 04:15 would mean 4 in the morning. So this is probably 4:15 a.m. on the 10th. And he claims that they took him in a wheelchair to medical, but there was nobody, no nurse that says that spoke to him. Then he's put in a single-man cell and hangs himself, according to the narrative. But there was a trip van that showed up that night. He did not sign in. They did not record the plate numbers. The one guy noticed there was somebody military in the back and led him through the gate. So this mysterious van shows up. Okay, just like this mysterious lack, a few minutes out of the video at midnight that disappeared. Okay, so when this message showed up on 4chan, of course, it opened up the gate for just a flood of conspiracy theories about Epstein, but without any evidence, this has no footing. There's no foundation for it to move forward. However, the very next day, the U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman of SDNY, he opened up a grand jury proceeding to try to find out who this anonymous poster is. And he subpoenaed a bunch of internet companies like 4chan, Apple, AT&T, Citibank, and so on, for records to try to uncover the identity of Anonymous. And in these Epstein files that were dropped in January, this message appears along with these subpoenas and these documents. And they found the guy. So this is the subpoena. This is records provided pursuant to subpoena. And there's the message. And this is then the name of the person, Roberto Grijalva. And they found him by using IP addresses, bank accounts, invoices and things like that, credit cards, or whatever he used to pay for his account. And his name is Roberto Grijalva. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll say Grijalva. Maybe it's pronounced a different way. Okay? So this is who posted the anonymous 4chan post a few hours after Epstein died. And then there's another memo. This memo was sent within the Metropolitan Correctional Center, New York City, to the warden from R.C. Grijalva. And in this memo, he talks about something that happened on August 9th with other officers. And he mentions at the end here, he adds a sentence about Epstein. He says also that inmate Epstein, and he gives Epstein's correct inmate number 76318-054, will be needing a cellmate upon arrival from his attorney visit. All right. So what does this prove? This proves that Grijalva was in fact working at that prison at the time that Epstein died. He was working at that prison. Now, if this guy is real and he sent that message, then this message becomes a witness testimony because he is an employee at the prison. So this is not just some hoax. This is not just somebody's posting this out of their basement, some joke or something like that. This is an actual prison guard or employee there, personnel, who wrote this message. And this becomes a witness testimony. So witness testimonies are evidence. Now this gives credence to the possibility that they actually did switch him out. Okay, what happened with his van and all these? Okay, now having said that, there are some serious questions. The first question I have is about this memo. Okay, this memo refers to incidents on August 9th, and it mentions Epstein. But look at the date. This is dated August 12th, 2019. So this is 2 days after after his body was found. And yet he writes also that inmate Epstein will be needing a cellmate upon arrival from his attorney visit. So wait a second. How come he's writing as if this implies Epstein is alive? He was just away for an attorney visit, but it's 2 days after Epstein died. So what is going on with this memorandum? Did he make a mistake in the date? Is this document fake, or is it somehow altered, or what's going on? Secondly, look at this signature. Is this the same signature as this signature? So you can see this is Roberto Grijalva. There's the L, but look at this G, look at this P. Now, this looks different. This signature looks different from the signature. Signatures don't match. Is it him? It could be. You know, my signature looks different when I'm writing on a table with a pen on a table on a piece of paper than if I'm signing it with my finger or I'm electronically signing. It could be completely different. So I'm not saying it isn't, but it is a question. Is this signature the same person? Another question has to do with this. So look at what time this anonymous post was made. It was made on the 10th of August at 2:45, close to 2, just before 2:45 p.m. Okay, the day that Epstein's body was found. Look at what time it shows. This post is shown on Twitter, 9:26 a.m. So there's some serious time difference here that needs to be explained. How does this post, which is, you know, in the afternoon, show up in the morning? Now, of course, there are geographical time differences, but how does this work? So this opens up a new can of worms regarding Epstein possibly still being alive. But it also opens up other questions about dates and times and the authenticity of these documents. What is going on? Not a clear and cut case here, but it definitely makes this possibility that Epstein was rescued out of the prison, swapped with a body in his cell to be autopsied and everything. And then Epstein was taken maybe offshore to another country, to a safe haven. What do you think? I'd love to hear your comments. Put it in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. But anyway, I think this is quite a significant development, because the murder narrative really, if I consider the three now, suicide, murder, and getting rescued, then murder is at the bottom of the pile for me. I just don't see that Epstein could have been murdered. Suicide is also suspect based on the information that we've now found. So rescue, it does. I mean, it's still speculation. I don't know what to make of these documents with all these dates, problems with dates and signatures and times. Just something to keep in mind is that there are pictures online about comparing Epstein to the body and showing differences between them. And not only that, but somebody posted this picture of this man that resembles Epstein. It was taken after his supposed death. Okay, it looks very much like him. So, let me hear what you think. Put it in the comments. Thanks for watching Truth Matters Unplugged.